50 states. Other rules that are different in here is the minority party sits in the front, the majority party sits in the back, and since when one is speaking, one may only address the Senate president sitting up here, it gives the minority a disadvantage because they're not supposed to turn around and look at whoever it is they're actually debating. They're only addressing the presiding officer. I've even had senators from the majority party sitting at the back say, "Oh, I forgot," and I got tapped on the shoulder. So, what's that? Yeah.
Bring a mirror.
I'm addressing you, but I'm looking over here. I'll have to suggest that next time I have to send it to them, see what they say. Notice the red color in here. A lot of red, especially the carpet. That's because the traditional color of the Senate is red. Goes back to the ancient Roman Senate. This marble is from France. It's called Fleur de Pêche. It's rare. It can't be replaced. And it's probably in here because it has that red color to it. These two murals are the largest murals in the building. They're by an artist named Edward Blatchfield. And this one here is called Minnesota Granary of the World. That one there is the discoverers and civilizers are led to the source of the Mississippi. So that's supposed to be the Mississippi pouring out of the jug there that Manitou is holding. This one over here I like better. But this one here represents Minnesota after it became part of the United States, especially after statehood in 1858. So if you'll see on the right-hand side, there are Civil War soldiers in the foreground and then Civil War veterans in the background. And on the left are civilians, there's farmers and so forth. Notice the farmer there on the piece of farm equipment with his hat in the hand. If you look at about 11 o'clock up from the hat, right on the edge, right against the frame, are two faces peering in. The first one with the browner hair is Cass Gilbert, the architect, and the one behind him with the grayer hair is Channing Seabury, the head of the commission to construct this place. Blatchfield knew of an ancient tradition among muralists. If you include your patron when you're painting your painting, maybe you'll get paid. Almost worked for Michelangelo. It probably goes back to ancient times. Blatchfield got paid, and then later even got another commission, one of those extra paintings down in the governor's annex. The biggest one, of course. He seemed to like big paintings. Another thing about that painting is if you look at where Cass Gilbert and Channing Seabury are looking, and you follow the blue ribbon across the waist of the angel holding the sheaf of wheat or corn, just behind the corn, just behind her arms, you can just make out the dome of the state capitol. And that was a detail that had been obliterated by time and dirt, that when they cleaned the paintings, they revealed it again, because it's just kind of ghosted in there. Any questions about the Senate? Going once?
I can't touch the other railing.
Okay. Cass Gilbert didn't have to worry about OSHA regulations. So nowadays, railings are all this height. Cass Gilbert was more concerned about line of sight, so he made it a little shorter than we're used to. And because the Senate was in session when the first Capitol burned and they were kind of trapped upstairs, I think they have an institutional trauma memory of makes them very safety conscious, so they don't want anybody falling down onto the Senate secretary and staff down below. It's my best guess. But yeah, the railings are all supposed to be this high nowadays. Any other questions? All right, let's see, how are we doing? We got time to go visit the Supreme Court, so follow me.
This room had to be accessed by key card, so not be able to independently come into the Minnesota Senate.